back. Welcome to A Legend Talks. I am your host, Michael Bouey. This is my other co-host, Emmanuel Pierce, and we are here on A Legend Talks to kind of break down a legend story, a book series that is written by me. It's a three-book series, like I said, and we are just kind of doing these promos so that we can kind of gear ourselves together for how a live show with this show every Saturday is going to kind of go. And I don't want to really talk too much about the book in general because I want to save a lot of those in-depth conversations for when we do our actual first episode of A Legend Talks. But within doing this test, I do want to kind of talk about how it relates to things that are currently going on in the world. Now, this book was written over a decade ago. This series, in general, was something that was meant to be one book, and then two books were added onto it. But it has so much relevancy with like politics and um, uh, I don't. I'm trying to be very careful because I don't want to give too much about it away and savor all of that. But it deals with big decisions inside of the government. All the way up to the White House, and things that are done on that end that potentially could lead us to a chaotic and crazed kind of experience. And I'm not gonna be political when talking about this, but looking recently with like the riots that happened are similar kinds of things that take place inside of the book, but to like a very dramatic kind of aspect. And the thing that I really like about this is that it it's not just like a something that's appealing to just Republicans or just to Democrats. It's something that really any party can watch and observe and kind of and get something from it. It kind of breaks apart each side because there's goods and bads to each side, and kind of gives a message that we should kind of look at each other more so as human beings instead of parties. So, Manny, what is your thought in terms on the connection that this book series has to the things that are going on in the world?
Yeah, first of all, I want to say thank you for having me on a Legend Talks. I mean, it's a Legend Talk, so obviously you need a legend, which is myself.
We're
Legend,
really
legendary,
we're really jumping into
legendary
the same
status.
persona as like as Philmatic. Go ahead.
Legendary status, legendary status. But yeah, I think it connects in a lot of ways into what's going on in the world currently, and just how divided we are as a country. Um, I don't want to get into the political side of it, but yeah, I think that you know this it's kind of crazy to see like when I first read it to where we are now and kind of some of the parallels that we have going on here. And it probably wasn't intentionally done that way, but it's just kind of where we are, and the world's getting crazier and crazier every day. So, but yeah, I mean, just the sheer parallels in this book, and you guys should definitely read it. To just some of the things that have happened and what we have going on is crazy. And you could see like you could see the things that happened in this book being the potential end result of what was going on. Um,
Now,
so
just a quick question: how's the connection do you see to people of different parties? Because you had said we are divided, and that is kind of the overall theme going inside of the book, and how to become more united um, as individuals. Do you see people of particular parties to be um, to have a problem with this book? Do you see this to be something that each party can realize, or do you think that one party may not really understand that message or care, or the other one, sees the message and whatnot? Like, I've had a lot of people read the book of all different kinds of parties, and they've all liked the message and liked the story, but do they understand the message? So I guess it's almost like a two-part question: is how do you think other parties, each party would take this book in your eyes for other people that read it, and then the second part is just looking at the message. Is that message received? Do you think that message would be received?
so I think that the stances in the book are really apolitical. They don't. I don't think people would take a side on what's happening in the book, um, just because like they're not fighting over the things that we we fight over here. It's not exactly the same in that way. Some of it, I guess, some of it can be tied into some of the fights that we have on both sides of the aisle, but some of most of it is not tied into that. So I don't think it would draw any particular party to it saying, "Oh, this represents how we feel perfectly." I think that as far as whether they would get the message or not, I think when you read books, everybody takes something different away from it.
Your computer
And
definitely froze. You're back.
yeah, you froze on my screen.
Well, you're back. I'm back.
Okay.
The thing
Uh,
of going live. Go ahead.
yeah. Um, as far as like the message goes, I think anybody who reads a book, people take different messages from it. I think everybody has their own take and different spin on it. But that's the point of reading, right? Is to jog your ideas and kind of make you think about think about the book in a way um, that maybe you would think about life or put your own meaning on it. Is it the author's message? Would everybody take the author's message from this? I don't know, but
Well,
I
that's
think
a good point that you say because I personally, as the author, have a message that I want delivered, and we'll have an episode where we'll just talk about the message. But that's kind of why I asked the question because I don't think people will take that direct message. Now, yes, like you said, they can have their own message or other messages, but will they understand the overall message? And then the bigger question that comes from that is would they change from that? Because a lot of people you might hear, oh, like, oh, I should do this. This is the positive impact. This is the positive message. I should live my life like that. And then they might do it for a couple of days if they're committed, and then they're back to the same shitty kind of person that they may be, or doing some of the shitty things that they may do, and that message
a
didn't
lot of
mean anything.
hostility and aggression in that sentence.
It is. It's literally fact that some people don't make that overall change, even when those inspiring messages come along that really would make us better people. And so that's kind of why I asked if the message would be well received.
I think it will be well received. The if you're asking if people will implement it, I don't think so. I mean, books are meant to jog ideas and kind of give you a frame to kind of put yourself into, kind of see what you think about things, and then to act on those things that you think about. But it all comes from self motivation. You can have a goal to, change people and have them be this new unified people, but it's really up to the people what they take from it and what they do with it. I mean, books are really just ideas, and you take those ideas and you expand upon them, and you choose to act or not. I would hope people would read this book and maybe have a different perspective. That's why you read books, to get different perspective. You shouldn't read books to just affirm what you know. You should read books to expand your knowledge. And
And
um,
even with the message, sorry not to interrupt, but even with the message that I'm putting out there, I'm not expecting people to 100% change over and become this new person. At the same time, is even looking at everyone's everyday life, we don't instantly change. We are molded each day into to hopefully, if some people are trying to do that, to become a better person. So, if
right,
anything, that this has an impact in one thing that drastically changes, that makes people better. Um, and you can see, I mean, this isn't a book or a story that takes place over a month or even a year. It's something that takes place over decades before that change inside of the book happens. And so that's the same thing that would be applied to everyone else's everyday life. So, um, that's kind of the purpose of this show, A Legend Talks, is to be able to kind of delve deep into each character. And a lot of characters are inside of this book that a lot of people may not know, understand, and I here as the author can kind of gear them to having a better understanding of where they came from, why I did certain things that certain way. And maybe even after we delve into it, we can do further episodes where we can do call-ins and people can kind of call in and even ask their questions or put up a website or a email address for people to ask questions for us to answer. But I think that that's kind of important that people have a better understanding of everything because this is something that's bigger than what people can imagine. And I really do feel and hope that when I get this remaster out, hopefully this weekend I can get it all taken care of and wrapped up. When then however long it takes after that,
yeah,
that people can get this book as soon as I mean you can get it now, but you can't get the remastered version until I finish that, which is 40 to 50,000 words more, and I think that adds a huge element of and difference inside of the first book to this remaster that will allow people to kind of have a different understanding and outlook. Maybe even to have a more perceived perspective of that message that I want to deliver. Is there anything else that you kind of want to add to thoughts before we close
Um,
out here?
yeah, check out a legend story, guys. Go ahead, pick it up and read it. It's thought provoking. I'd also like to say hi to my little sister Breland, who's in the comments. Um, and can't wait to do more of these legend talks with Manny the Legend. I think that's kind of what I want to go by now. Because I am a legend. That's what people who read the book and the fan base should be called. They should all be legends. To look,
Or maybe when people
this
come
is
in,
why he
we're
brings
like,
me on the
"Well,
show.
welcome to a Legend Talks. Welcome all my legendeers,
Yeah, legenders. We'll figure it out.
we'll figure it out. That's the whole point of this, but I really do like it.
Yeah.
This is a great topic, and I want to thank everybody for tuning in. And stay tuned for our actual first episode because we are going to delve into the story in general of just the first book. So it's going to tell a lot that people are going to be able to kind of be captivated, places that you guys can pick up a copy of the book. And hopefully by the time that we start that, the remaster is available because I encourage everybody to get a remastered version. It does. If you have the first one or you end up getting the first one, it's a hell of a lot different of a book from the first one to the remastered one. And I think that people will
Hmm.
thoroughly enjoy it. So
Yeah.
thank you, everybody, and that's been an episode of Legend Talks.
A tale as old as
I love the intro. It's
time.